Varian seems to be the hero that teams need when they want to tie out series. Germany has done it a few days ago, and Belgium just did it here right now. And we're once again being joined by Tetra and Bakery here on this wonderful panel for the Heroes of the Storm Nexus games to find out which team is going to win this best of 3.
Despite getting thoroughly trashed in lane, it was a sacrifice that was worth it for Team Belgium. I was thoroughly impressed by that Varian play.
Yeah, and not just the Varian, it felt like the entire Belgium team just stepped up. Even the Illidan, which we were kind of questioning or wondering where he had stayed, showed up a really good performance.
They played exactly how they needed to, and not every single member individually as well. The Illidan survived the lane phase without losing too much. The Varian also survived the lane phase without losing too much. And bot lane, it was a bit rough, but they also survived. And as we saw in our replays, as soon as they were even, at level 10 and beyond, it looked very easy for them to get those strong, impactful team fights.
And we're now going to determine which one is going to be the third and decisive battleground. I have good news for Towers of Doom lovers amongst you. We're going to that battleground, and we know, as competitive Heroes of the Storm viewers, how exciting and dramatic this map can get.
Yep, definitely one of our favorites. It's one of the most interesting and unique maps in the map pool due to the lack of core all-in potential.
Yeah, Towers of Doom is my personal favorite map. It always gets exciting in the late game, and between these two teams, I'm sure it will as well.
I've received word that it was Hungary who chose the battleground. Would you say that is a team to be favored here, or do you think it's dead even 50-50?
I think Towers of Doom is a map that at the late game always comes down to team fighting.
Right.
There are two big factors. It's the early game, who has control of that bottom lane bell tower, and who has control of those sapper camps. And late game, who has the better team fighting.
Who do you think has the better team fighting?
I think that favors Hungary. I think they showed a lot of weaknesses last game, but again, they're great at preparation. They picked this map, they know what they have to do to get a good comp on this map, we hope. And I think if they successfully pull that off, they should be feeling really great.
You agree, Tetra?
I definitely agree. I think if they are able to take a decent team fight comp and potentially continue to deny away some of Belgium's favorites, like right now, Enabler has shown really solid Zebo play and really solid Malfurion play. Diva Dahaka skin, correct. But again, a high priority on Dahaka, but this time from Belgium.
Makes much more sense on Towers of Doom. Dahaka is a pick that gives fantastic control over the sapper camps, as I was just mentioning, and that very often gives you an early game XP advantage.
Absolutely. In the meantime, we see two heroes that are no strangers to the Nexus games. The Brightwing immediately coming in, same as the ETC. Double global potential, but Brightwing already so good.
Yep, so good, and especially against this Dahaka, she can take Cleanse if it's needed. Emerald Wind is a great counter towards that Emerald Wind Emerald Wind is such a good counter against Dahaka engaging from behind, as he does do very often.
Absolutely, and especially if you combine it with an ETC who could go in very aggressively. The Brightwing on top seems like a good combo to me. What also seems like a good idea to me, guys, is if you out there just let us know who you think is going to win that next game. Hashtag HughWin if you think Hungary is going to put it in, or hashtag BEWin if you think Belgium will ride the momentum all the way to this game.
As the timer runs down on Team Belgium's picks, they bring out some very standard stuff. Rhaegar and the Greymane, the classic, El Clasico Drafto.
Indeed, indeed.
Spain isn't even playing.
Yeah, but we still use El Clasico for basically everything. You used it in Finland in like France versus UK on day one.
So I really want to see Arthas being picked by this Hungarian team. It's a fantastic counter matchup to the Dahaka in top, and because he does shove the wave first, he can actually rotate down. When you look at the rest of the heroes, it is Rhaegar, Greymane, which are, again, two heroes which Arthas excels against.
All right, another Nazebo ban.
Indeed, and I'm wondering for Bakery, what would be your thoughts on Hungary potentially taking away that Malfurion that we've also seen Enabler perform on very well?
They definitely can. They have the ETC and they have the Brightwing, so they need a second support. They have the ETC, who Malfurion combos excellently with because of those root follow-ups, and also Twilight Beam.
Yeah.
Can we say that Malfurion has probably been one of the biggest playmakers in this tournament thus far?
Absolutely. Malfurion and ETC, both of them sometimes together have both been some of those game-changing heroes.
For the amount of plays that Malfurion has made, like the percentage of games that Malfurion has made these players in is absolutely insane compared to his pick rate.
Yeah. Why do you think that is? Why is Malfurion such a rare sight whenever he plays and performs well? He's a game changer.
Because he's picked when he works.
Exactly. Malfurion is not a strong hero in the meta, and he's not a hero that performs well in a lot of situations. He's very niche. His sustained healing and the Twilight Dream when they have lots of melees.
All right, so now we see the Vala. Tacet are no longer here to support her. Malfurion would still make a lot of sense, though.
But we've seen a lot of leaning on Ariel from this team. And they do take the Malfurion. I like it. We need to see what they need to try and force someone out of their comfort zone. Malfurion works with their comp, and it might force Enabler onto something he's not too comfortable with.
I think right now, Team Hungary is just trying to minimize risk. They're trying to go for safe picks. An Ariel, as we've seen times and times before, it's a very chancy, a very risky hero sometimes. You don't have a good hope barrier rate. Even if you have one, there could always be those weird team fights where somebody gets dropped low and Ariel is too late to save them. So, Belgium, what do they need? These last two picks could decide the survival of their entire squad in the Nexus games.
Indeed, they need a main tank. Dahaka not able to absorb all of this damage on his own.
Possibly a second support, but they are kind of running low on that pool.
Yeah, second damage could also be a possibility here if they wanted to try and, if they think they want to burst through that double support style.
Belgium has awoken, by the way.
They really
Look at the votes.
43%. Diablo returns, and they bring the Stukov to bear in this game.
I was talking about how I think Hungary has this fantastic opportunity to pick the Arthas and maintain control of the bottom lane sappers and the bottom lane as a whole. Well, Stukov is a perfect counter to that. He can put the lurking arm down, and the sappers cannot run through it and explode onto the towers or the fort.
Diablo being locked in again. It didn't look good in game number 1. Is it a good choice to go for it again?
It's definitely punishing towards a hero like Malfurion or onto Brightwing. Malfurion no longer with Cleanse, which could be a huge deal for saving Brightwing if she's engaged upon. And if Brightwing goes for the teleport shield, then Valor becomes the vulnerable target.
At the same time, I am looking at the Diablo, I'm looking at Emerald Wind.
Yep, slight issues.
I'm very worried.
Definitely true.
Silence is available. Stukov could be the game-changing hero if he's able to position and get those silences down.
All right, the time pool is almost depleted, and the Malthael, this time, Hungary does have a tank shredder.
Yes,
yeah, Malthael definitely much better equipped to deal with the Dehaka and the Diablo.
Yeah. Not just in terms of damaging them, but also reducing their healing with Touch of Death.
Yep, double healers, both of which are AoE healers.
We're looking at a bio kill switch, we're looking at Ancestral. Those are huge cooldowns. I mean, one of them is 100 seconds and the other is 16 on a basic ability. So denying that with Touch of Death would be absolutely huge.
Yep, and of course, Dahaka's essence-based healing, as Kendrick was just talking about. This Malthael works kind of against everything here.
How do you like Malthael in Towers of Doom as a whole? Is it a good battleground for him?
I think generally it's quite hard to justify picking him, but in this scenario, I was talking about how great the Arthas was. Well, I'm glad they waited until last, because the Malthael does much better work now that Stukov has been picked to deny the Arthas pressure.
And the Malthael is going to hold up in that lane against the Dahaka, so they're not going to be in that situation where if they did pick an Arthas, Dahaka has slightly better push potential than Arthas and a little bit more global mobility. Malthael doesn't make up for the global mobility, but he can, if he plays well, do have a really solid lane against the Dahaka.
All right, who would you give sway to, guys, very quickly?
My money is on Hungary.
I am also leaning towards Hungary. The Diablo has not convinced me.
I'm going to join you guys. I think Hungary nailed this draft, and they're looking confident and strong, and definitely want to make sure that they will advance to the quarterfinals.
So, ladies and gentlemen, spawning on the left-hand side, it is Team Hungary, with Kasi playing the ETC, Dobos on the Malfurion, Nuti on the Brightwing, Fana playing the Valor, and the Hydra is on the Malthael.
And their opponents trying to carry the momentum over into this game. Team Belgium with Heiser playing their Grey main. We have Rabio going on the Rhaegar, we see Taluf on the Dehaka, and last but not least, we're being joined by Linfield on Diablo and Enabler in the Grey main. Sorry, Heiser was on Stukov, my mistake.
Yep, so Enabler playing Grey main. I don't know if we've seen this yet, so either way, we're going to see something new from Team Belgium.
Yeah, Enabler is slowly but surely starting to expand his hero pool. We have labeled him as a one-trick pony before.
This is where we find out he's got like the best Grey main ever, and he's just really, really likes Malfurion and Nazebo.
He was just fooling.
Yeah, it was the longest con in the entire tournament. But for now, we will have to wait and see. We do see the Stukov starting with the growing infestation, and Dehaka yet to pick his level 1 talent.
Yeah, I think it's still going to be the movement speed, though. I can't see another talent really making as much sense here, especially in Towers of Doom, where you really have a lot of locations for the Brush Stalker. Let's see, though. Maybe he's got something else prepared.
He does go with it. There we go. I was about to say the other option would be more regen, but Malthael. So he does, in fact, go with the extra movement speed. Power Slide is good, but the silence immediately drops to give Greymane that escape.
Yeah, beautiful disengage here by Heiser. Not just the heals, but also the immediate lurking arm to prevent any further abilities from being used on the Greymane. Very well done here. Now, Team Hungary, they're going for a couple of interesting talent choices here at level 1. I want to highlight the scouting drones on Malfurion. Instead of going for the Wave Flare, the Moonburn, which is oftentimes what we're used to seeing now, he goes for more vision, which could, of course, be very useful for potential Diablo engages.
Exactly. This seems to be actually one of the go-to picks, but only really for this map. But it can work very well on where these bushes are incredibly dangerous. There's always a chance of gank potential, and of course, you have that tunnel that opens up in the late game. Putting a scouting drone on that can really give you a little bit of extra information as to when and where heroes are going.
Vision really is key in this game. If you face a Dehaka who could pop up from anywhere, Diablo trying to go for a flank potentially, so I do like the scouting drone's talents pick here. Also, the block party on ETC trying to really minimize all the damage coming in from the main DPS on the side of Team Belgium, Greymane.
So Stukov going for that vigorous reuptake here. Wants to try and get the maximum amount of burst healing possible, which is risky against Malthael for the reasons we discussed earlier, as we for now see a 1-for-1 trade.
Bakery touched upon it during the draft as well, saying that if the Touch of Death by Malthael hits at the right time, there's going to be a long cooldown on both Rhaegar and the vigorous reuptake on Stukov to really make up for it.
Good zoning by Kasi and Hydra there. That will give Hungary the 2-for-1. Nicely done indeed. As Dehaka has been up here soaking a little bit of XP for his team though. So Belgium coming out with a little something.
Yeah, very true. Both teams really doing a formidable job at getting back in lane in time to not miss any minion XP. The Hydra in the top lane facing now Dehaka again. Linfield on the Diablo in the meantime needs to collect a lot of souls. I think that's something a lot of Diablo players are sometimes not aware of, that if you lose all of your stacks by after dying, you really need to spend some time in lane to really refill your soul stones.
Now, Malfurion, interesting talent on level 4, the Vengeful Roots here. Getting that lovely Trent, who is, Treant, sorry, which is going to raise in damage as the game goes on.
That's not how you call him.
What is it? How is it pronounced?
It's pronounced broccoli.
Touche. I was looking at you just like, wait, what?
Gotcha, buddy. No
you
problem.
Got me.
No.
Well played.
But it is cool. It is cool to see that talent because it makes a lot of sense here. When there's a lot of choke points, you can really get another additional target in there as well. The Trent could, of course, interfere with some of the skill shot abilities as well. It could intercept a Cocktail, could intercept a Drag by Dehaka. It's not as bad as many people think it is.
It can gain some value in the damage situations, and he is actually going for a very root-based build, going with that anti-healing root. More anti-healing is the name of the game.
Exactly, especially when you face AoE healing granted by the Stukov, most importantly, and the Rhaegar. These anti-healing roots, oh, that was close on the Zapper, almost hitting the gate. But yeah, it can really cripple the enemy team's healing. And of course, at level 60, you get the Entangling Boots upgrade with the radius and the duration. That's really solid.
Pretty good. And I just said anti-healing is the name of the game. Not for Malthael, as Diablo is stunned, but he's too tanky. Malthael going for Die Alone level 4 and Cold Hand. Well, once again, these are solo laning talents, but not going for that anti-healing, which could be working against the Ancestral. It could be working against that Stukov. Nice. So Stukov's going to be happy with this.
Nice roots, really isolating the front line of Belgium, but they suffer from the first kill. Hungary, that is.
Zenfield able to tackle away from the Hydra, who was doing a lot of damage on him, onto Nuti, as it's currently 2-0 in favor of Belgium, and they are able to force back Hungary and take those shots.
That was a nice fight by the Belgian team. It didn't start that well, in my opinion, because I thought they were actually too spread out. However, the Vala dying too quickly, the Malfurion following right after, and that is probably the one weakness that the double support formation by Hungary offers. A relatively limited amount of straight-up burst protection, burst healing.
Indeed, and the Brightwing does assist with that, but it takes time is the issue. She needs to she needs to predict it, basically.
No cleanse either on the Brightwing. I think that could maybe save the Vala against the Diablo onslaught.
We see the Hydra trying to flee, but the drag from Toulouse is landing, and they pick up yet another kill. 3-0, as Greymane and Stukov will take their own mercenary camp, and Enable actually rolling off the camp, but they are still able to pick it up.
Sometimes the lack of cleanse can really harm your team against heavy CC, and I'm really flabbergasted of why Brightwing didn't go for it. I mean, as you said earlier, the Malfurion no longer has access to it, so we can't blame him here. But against the Diablo, Dehaka, Stukov silenced so by the Rhaegar, I think I would have gone for it.
And Stukov is going for a very silence-based build, which could be good against. He's gone for that within my reach at level 7. He's gone for that growing infestation at level 1 to increase the radius. This is going to be potentially very rough for Hungary.
Okay, level 10 is here for the Belgian team, but it is very, very, very close for the Hungarian team as well. So they're going to fight on equal terms here. 2 altars. It wouldn't surprise me if both teams wanted to approach this a little bit more slowly and just share altars left and right. Now, level 10. Which heroic abilities are we going to see? Tormented Souls, of course, Twilight Dream, Emerald Wind, Vala, and ECC haven't really decided yet.
ETC holding back for the moment. ETC has gone for that Echo Pedal, so he can actually go for the stage dive here if he was to choose to. Aloof channeling, as is Dobos. Looks like we're going to see a 1-for-1 unless Lenfield can land the fire, which he cannot. Oh, it was interrupted though.
Yeah, very cheeky attempt here. Dehaka's coming in from the back line.
Dehaka sneaking in. There's the Apocalypse. The isolation completely misses those Tormented Souls into everyone. And they are dropped very low. Stukov already dead. Rabio gets Hungering Arrow. It bounces onto Enabler though.
Hydra
but here comes Hydra. He gets healed. He's got his Carsey, but he's got nowhere to go. He goes down. Toulouse runs into the roof, but he will still make it behind the wall. Wants to try and get a drag counter, but he's not able to. Lenfield's back.
Okay, Lenfield is back. That is a very important thing to observe because they could have maybe gone for the boss, but the death numbers are simply too low. Also, Diablo in that boss pit is going to have a lot of potential abilities to really knock people against the wall, stun them, flipping over, and maybe turn the tides. But that was a beautiful baity team fight for Team Hungary. They basically wanted Belgium to go in. The Brightwing Emerald Wind, the silence hitting 4 or 5 members once again.
Yeah, the Emerald Wind Tormented Souls as well, working very well. It did actually mean they missed Mosh Pit. They did not get the maximum value out of that, but getting all those kills and the shots is going to be worth it for them.
And most importantly, also the failed ganking attempt from behind by Dehaka.
Missed.
Yeah, I think it was too predictable. The isolation missed. The moment you hear that sound, you can guess where Dehaka's going to come from. And in that situation, it had to be behind the team.
Exactly. So we see Carsey in full retreat. 40 seconds until he has Mosh Pit again. Brightwing already with Emerald Wind back.
All right, Carsey, speaking of the Mighty Cow, going in, power sliding into nothing though. And now Brightwing is joining the fray once again, provides the shields, but no target from Belgium was able to be caught.
Greymane getting rooted pretty hard, but he was able to escape without taking too much damage.
Keep in mind, Brightwing doesn't have phase shift right now. She just used it on Diablo, providing the shields. She's going to have to run all the way down. And a Brightwing who just, you know, rotates from top to bottom is very susceptible to a potential Diablo interrupt.
As we do see the defense clearing, the defense on the mercenaries will be required by both teams here, but Belgium looking to try and potentially make the aggressive play. No one currently going for that bot ulta.
Yep.
We now see Brightwing moving down because she will have that teleport up very soon.
And the scouting drone in the middle of the Hungarian team shows where the Haka could possibly burrow to. So that is a very nice preemptive warning system that the Hungarian team has been able to spot in here.
Brightwing is able to complete the channel on that bottom altar, and with level 13 available, Hungary get the second one as well. Even more shots landing onto the Belgian core, 20 health left.
I'm not really sure what Staka was trying to achieve there. Of course, 13 hadn't really been there, but he looked very undetermined. Like, he was constantly shuffling back between the mercenary camp back to lane. Didn't really do it. The silence is huge, and Stukov is no more.
Stukov is, in fact, no more as he gets taken out here. Rabio has found the Hydra, and Taluf arrives as well. The self-cleanse from Malphite with that level 13 talent.
To be honest, him dodging the isolation was huge. If he had used his ulti there, maybe he could have actually taken both, or at least one.
Diablo goes down, he has souls, but that is once again removing all of his souls, so he is now very squishy, and bot lane will be under the control of Hungary.
All right, that is definitely a bell tower capture here in favor of Hungary. That is a huge deal. Very nicely done. The bottom lane is actually the most important one in that regard, because any Zapper camp will be able to deal direct damage onto the enemy core.
They will have sappers available again very shortly, as in now. Nope, I thought that was a 1, but it's a pumpkin over the number 7. As we do see the sappers respawning, and now we can see Hungary attempt to take them if they are feeling brave, and they can afford to be, because they can see Belgium unfortunately taking back this bell tower, but it's still a free cap.
And that's kind of cool, you know, when both teams took the Zappers at roughly the same point in time, because it is very easy to predict when both camps are going to spawn. The steal on the right-hand side is very much favoring Hungary already. That was a good call. And they're immediately transitioning over to get theirs as well. Diablo, though, needs to be careful. He's charging in. He wanted to make a play there, but the roots prevent any further shenanigans.
So we were concerned about the lack of cleanse from either support, so both have gone for Ice Block. If they can't protect each other, they will protect themselves.
Ice, ice, baby, for both supports indeed. That is a very good observation, Tetch. I'm glad you pointed it out, because that can literally be the lifesaver for either Malfurion or Brightwing. Now, Lenfield definitely isolated here in the backline, trying to get something done. 2 more altars already being picked, and Apocalypse goes down.
The mosh pit gets interrupted by the flailing swipe, as we do see Diablo being forced to retreat. Twilight Dream onto Dahaka, and they focus him down beautifully. Malthael moving in with the Tormented Souls. Heiser is so low, he will get taken out, and Lenfield may join him. Nope, he is able to tank through, but the shots once again were taken.
The one-man Twilight Dream, so worth it. They saw the Haka coming in, they silenced him. That means no burrow, no self-healing, no nothing. And then everything was used. The Rain of Vengeance and the other damaging abilities, and Dahaka got popped within milliseconds.
And Hungary gonna use this time to take the boss. And even if the members of Belgium were aligned to raid, we see Kasi has taken the Encore. That double knockback, giving him the potential to guard that point with his, well, with his speaker, I guess this would be.
And all of a sudden we see that the balance of power, excuse me, I'm stumbling over my words here, really starting to shift in favor of Hungary. 24-8 is the current health score on the course. That is a huge lead for the Hungarian team, and they're not letting go anytime soon. The Zappers are pushing in, the team is sieging up, and you know, the bottom even is low. Like, Brightwing can cause a lot of damage if that top fight goes on for any longer.
Value lurking on here by Heiser, denying the sappers from making their way onto that bell tower, and that will deny just extra shots from Team Hungary. As Belgium, they complete some quests. We have the Dahaka speed quest at level 1 and the cocktail quest for Greymane.
Yeah, that means more damage now on the Greymane. That could actually help them a lot against the double support backline, who's so good at sustaining people, but that additional amount of burst damage from the cocktails may actually be what they need. Sometimes breakthrough is definitely going to help them in the poke wars.
And Stukov just completed vigorous reuptake. More healing, and with Malthael not taking his anti-healing talent, this could be huge. It's going to be very up to Malthael, who does, Malfurion, sorry, who does have that extra radius on his route now.
And we see the rotation going in. Malthael, who was top, is going middle and bottom now, whereas Brightwing, who was bottom just a few moments ago, is now going to go top, because both support both global heroes want, of course, to be the one to potentially come in over that huge distance.
Yep.
Now, strong position for Hungary.
They can't get near. Lenfield's going to have to dive.
Early apocalypse.
That will deny the shots, which is what that was for. Good tackle. Emerald Wind completely isolates
this is terrible.
Here. He gets polymorphed and taken out. The flailing swipe. Not really going to get them any value as Dahaka going to try and get out of there with his Stunning Claws. Moshpit interrupted by the side. It's very nicely done. Someone sells into the backline, trying to take out Enabler, who was able to micro backwards, but that's still going to be the shots for Hungary.
That's still going to be another altar for the Hungarian team, and that was huge. That was so well played. The Brightwing teleport, perfectly timed. The Emerald Wind, even better. Diablo found himself completely isolated, and even the mighty Lord of Terror is scared when he's all alone.
And he didn't have enough souls for the revive.
No.
Bad news for Diablo. And worse news for Belgium. Taluf in serious danger. He's going to have to tunnel out if he wants to get out. But no, they're going to try and focus down onto Dobos, who drops a Twilight Dream. And like you said, Iceblocks himself. Enabler trying to chase him down, but Dobos survives. Taluf dodges the base spell, but he will still go down.
Vala is chasing mercilessly on the Grey Mane with a nice multi-shot. She says, "You are gone, my friend. I don't even need to hunt demons right now. I'll take the Grey Mane." And that was beautifully executed once again by the Hungarian team. It really seems like last game was a wake-up call. This is the team that Karsi and his fellow men were meant to be. They're a super strong team.
Yep, they are synergizing very well together, pushing in once again, lurking arm value. But still danger. Power slide coming in. Rabio is low. The flaming swipe having to be used, but the bell tower still goes down. The Emerald Wind on Heiser, who will get taken out. Lenfield's in trouble. He has to run away, but all this really means is right now, there is now a bell tower down, so Mercenaries will bring the core of Belgium down to 1 health. Netfield.
He tried to escape Diablo, but something gave you away. Maybe it was the stealth. Yeah. And they're having a little bit of fun here, the mighty Broccoli.
Get him.
But that's actually good.
Get him, Broccoli.
Yeah.
As they take him down, staggering the deaths.
Yeah, they actually delayed his death on purpose to have a longer death timers in the end. So they could have actually ignored him as well for a little bit longer. But let's see. The altar is going to spawn.
Even better news, Boss will be back soon. As the altar is about to spawn, the wind conditions begin to pile up. Moshpit does once again get interrupted by the silence, so slightly good news here. But Belgium, they just lost another member in the form of Rhaegar. Boss is up in 40. EGC's already on his way down to that altar, which will be lethal.
That will be lethal indeed.
Stukov will delay, but it's now Stukov and Dahaka versus the world, as Heiser will get chased away. Raid defenders for good measure, and that is going to be GG, as we will see Hungary taking game number 3.
What a performance by Karsi and his fellow Hungarian teammates. Wonderfully done. Every team member just seemed to have clicked perfectly. The Malthael did tons of work, but also the double support line, this time reinforced by Malfurion, just looked so much better than the Oriole from game number 2.
Absolutely, and that is my highlight from this game, at least for sure. Dobos on the Malfurion, and also Lenfeld and the Diablo, players redeeming themselves from previous games of the series.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, the Belgium team is now very likely going to drop out of the Nexus games, but it is Hungary who's guaranteed to advance.
Yep, I believe Hungary are guaranteed to advance now with that score, because even if Germany, I believe, now lose the next series, not guaranteed apparently.
Okay, not guaranteed, but looking very
bad
good.
at maths. Is what we have just discovered there.
Okay, anyway, let's swiftly move on from all that nonsense and get into some replays. So the first replay I have for you guys is Lenfield performing on this Diablo. So let's watch him here. He sees Fanna, out position on Valor. Now he charges in, he gets the stun against the wall instantly. The hacker has already dug in. Perfect coordination. They instantly eliminate Valor. Now, diabolical momentum. We questioned it before, but look, now it gives him the escape as he charges onto Brightwing and survives that entire engage. What a fantastic play as we see Malfurion falling as well.
Very nicely done indeed, but there were other situations where he was, as the solo tank, having difficulties. Emerald Wind being a huge thorn in his side.
Absolutely. Not necessarily his fault. The draft didn't favor him too much, but as we go into our second pick, though, we see Dobos. He made a huge play on top, and he makes another huge play here. So let's watch the hacker. The hacker bows in on the left-hand side of your screen. Instantly, Dobos realizes he's alone, let's one-shot him, pulls the shots, takes him out, And this is basically just all over as we see the Hydra steamrolling over the rest of the team with Tormented Souls, picking up another kill, and that paved the way for Hungary to win.
Yeah, those Tormented Souls were devastating all game, always getting like 3 to 5 people.
And the thing is, Malthael didn't even go for Touch of Death. There were anti-healing mechanics already implemented by Malfurion.
Yeah, but we do see actually, in terms of players redeeming themselves, Dobos makes one more amazing play this game. So let's see it. We roll it forward. Now, this is Belgium's last chance. They don't have Diablo, but they know this is their last chance. So Toulouse tries to predict the tongue, does not get it. Dobos, he realizes they're going on him. He almost instantly pops Twilight Dream before anything else can be cast. Stays in the ice block while Greymin is forced to run away, and then comes out of ice block and is able to run up and survive. What a turnaround from that oil game.
A beautiful turnaround. It's nice to see it. Dobos really turning it up and coming up big for Hungary when they needed it most.
Yeah, really solid performance. You could really see how the Hungarian team stepped it up compared to Game 2. Their draft looked more solid. The individual performance was great. Karsi, Dobo, you mentioned them. Super solid all around.
Yep, completely agreed. Really impressed. And even though they aren't 100% guaranteed to go through, it's still a pretty big deal to get that win.
All right, guys, and we're going to take another look at the schedule of what we have prepared for you guys today, because we're only 50% done for day number 5 of the Nexus games. Next in line, Germany versus Denmark, and this is probably one of the most impactful series in terms of overall standing. If Denmark wins against Germany, we're going to have a tiebreaker scenario very likely in Group B. If Germany wins, though, Hungary and Germany are both going to advance to the quarterfinals. And last but not least, Italy against the UK team, and I know 2 gentlemen who are very excited about that one.
The UK can create some disappointments and some upsets here if we aren't careful.
Absolutely. Any last words about the UK game? How excited are you? Show some excitement, Bakery. Come on.
I'm not especially hopeful, but I do believe we can take at least one game and show that we weren't that bad. We were actually really close to making it out.
All right, but before that happens, of course, guys, we're going to go on a commercial break and, you know, take this moment to calm ourselves down and prepare for more games. You should do the same. Don't go anywhere.